All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network, live, woodwardsports.com. As always, Adham, Beydoun, Jeff, Iafrate on a beautiful Thursday morning. My goodness, the week has flown by. I hope you all had a good night's rest, because I sure as hell did. I actually slept. I actually got some sleep. It was only 4.5 hours, but it was better than the 0 I got yesterday. So you know what? We're improving daily. We're getting our shit together. Jeff, good morning. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm glad you got sleep.
Oh my
I think
God,
that's the bigger takeaway right now.
Human, man. My goodness. I can't wait till I get those 6-7 hours. Oh my God, I might bust a nut on the show.
My God.
But speaking of doing things on the show that, you know, typically people don't like or want you to do, did you see that thread circling around Twitter yesterday?
What
about
thread?
The show getting canceled?
Yeah,
because I told people to go kill themselves.
The context matters.
Context matters.
Yeah.
Number one, I'm not saying any standard normal human being. I'm talking about a dude that's going to shoot up a school, man or woman. If you're going to shoot up a school, you're better off dead. All right, number one. Number two, I say whatever the fuck I want. All right? That's not changing. Whether this company is bought, whether this company goes away, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on my mother's network, I don't give a fuck where it is. I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want. And number three. Hey, yo! And most important, thank you for watching. So we'll get the day started like that. We got a great show coming up. Marvin Jones, obviously we're going to react to that signing, what it means for the Lions. Quality signing. 8:15, we'll get to the people. What do you guys want to see the Lions do in the first 2 rounds? You have 4 picks. Be as creative as you want. Come prepared. I want to know the position. I'd like to know the player. I'd like to know the scenario of you moving back, moving up. What's important to you? Call in. Phone lines will be open starting at 8:15. 313-552-6322. So call in and share with Jeff and I what you want to see the Lions do in the first 2 rounds. 8:30, I have a very special video prepared for all of you. And I hope it offers a little bit of insight into why I love this individual so much. And I want you to see the job interview that I'm going to show you today at 8:30. And compare it to what you've seen in media for the last month. 8:45 up until 9:15, we got about a 45-minute stretch. Jeff, myself, and JB are going to do mock drafts for in-division rivals. Jeff will handle the Packers. I got the Bears. And, of course, JB's got the Vikings. That should be fun. JB got the shittiest one of the group, by the way.
I really did.
Their
picks are terrible.
But the Vikings only got like
ever.
The Vikings only got like 5 picks.
Yeah, 5 picks and they're so far stretched out. Like I couldn't pick anybody good. Just know that.
It's all good. I love who you took, though. I love who you took. So here's what we're going to do. We'll start the show with Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones coming back home, coming back to the Detroit Lions on a what I would call a nice reunion. I think it's a quality signing. I think he brings maturity to a wide receiving room that, let's be honest, is pretty young. I love it. I love it. And I don't love it for the on-the-field sense. It's more so for me, a quality guy. Yep. You bring him, he fits the locker room. He's been here before. He's going to give you production regardless. Yeah, sign me up. I don't mind it. Whether or not that dictates the Lions in the draft, I don't think any free agent, to be honest with you, that they've signed completely eliminates anybody out of the draft. Let me make that very clear. On top of it, I would say the only one where I would pause and really think through would be C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Because if his year goes how we expect it to, he's going to want to get paid. And if you do, and you as in the Lions do end up paying him, great. But I still don't think that prevents you from drafting a corner in the second, third, fourth, or not fourth for the Lions case, but any time in this draft. Mm-hmm. You may not be able to afford him. So I like the signing, Jeff. Marvin Jones was always a very, very good player here in Detroit. Quality signing.
Yeah, I got no issue with it. I mean, it's risk-free. It's a 1-year, $3 million deal with incentives to potentially get to $5 million. And for Marvin Jones to compete with who? Josh Reynolds for, I guess, your wide receiver 3 or 4. It's a risk-free deal. And for Marvin, he's a veteran, someone who obviously played for the Lions for 5 seasons, so familiarity with the city. But more than that, I mean, he's productive. Even in Jacksonville last year, he doesn't miss a ton of games in his career. He's pretty consistent. So a guy you can rely on, a guy who's going to be there to play, and a guy that if you need to, he will produce. Not obviously at the level he did, especially his early years in Detroit, but still, you don't need that out of him. He had 550 yards last year for Jacksonville. It is what it is. I mean, this is a quality depth move, but you're right, Adam. It doesn't take them out of drafting a wide receiver in the draft, because I still believe you got to get somebody, especially a similar build to Chark, somebody that 6'4", can stretch the field. Marvin Jones, like him a lot. He's more of a possession receiver, but still that role of DJ Chark, they're probably gonna have to find through the draft. But
I think there's ways around it. I just do. I get the idea of having that Z-type receiver, a guy that can stretch the field, plays on the sideline a majority of the time. He's on the outs. I get it. It's nice, and I like Chark. I did. I thought he was good, productive when he was on the field down the stretch for the Lions last year. But may I remind all of you, and I'm going to say this as slowly as possible, because I have this belief, and I'm hoping it's not true, but what I believe is I don't think anybody understands how this offense works. So let me say this very slowly. The Lions put out a top 5 offense with DeAndre Swift, DJ Chark, and Jameson Williams out of the field for the first 5-6 weeks of the season. Think about that. You fielded a top 5 offense with shitty TJ Hawkinson, Khalif Raymond, Josh Reynolds, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, who missed 2 of those games, by the way.
True.
One of them with a fake concussion, I believe, and the other one was an ankle injury. Really bothered the living hell out of him. And that was with your pathetic performance in New England and Dallas offensively. Think about that. Guys, I know we don't like Jared Goff. I know he's not elite. I know he's not one of the 5-6 best quarterbacks in the NFL. Tough shit. There's only 5 or 6 ever in the NFL at one given time. It's just the history of the position. But hey, pretty sure this offense is going to be just fine, whether it was Marvin Jones or my mother getting drafted in the 2nd round. All right?
As long as this room could stay healthier than they did last year, they will be okay.
You can say that about any team,
yeah,
right?
That's the most important thing. Last year, with all the injuries they had, even Jameson not being able to play until late in the season and not really getting a ton of playing time, you're going to have J-Mo for the full season. You're going to have Amon-Ra. Usually, he's there for the entire season. And then now you get Marvin Jones, who, he's never been really an injury-prone guy. It's a great thing. So they'll be fine with the guys they have now. It's not the biggest, especially if you have huge expectations. With Brad has came out and mentioned it about Jameson. They'll be all right.
Look, if Jameson Williams is 80%, forget it. 50% of what he was at Alabama for you day one.
He'll be productive.
You're going to get a really productive wide receiver.
Yeah, I just prefer. I would like a big body receiver. That's really the big thing. Especially,
what does that mean, right? We've gotten to a point in the NFL though, Jeff, where I agree. 5 years ago, man, you really want that big body wide receiver. Even 2-3 years ago. But look at some of the best receivers in the NFL right now.
Oh, they're about,
they're all on the shorter side.
Yeah, they're built like J-Mo for the most part. Yeah.
And Amon-Ra St. Brown. You would say he's a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL right now, right? So, to me, it's a luxury. It's nice. Scheme-wise, it opens up the field. I get it. I get wanting it. But I don't think it's a need. Is that fair?
No, that's fair.
And that's why I'm so against Quentin Johnston in the first round, let's say at 18. I just don't think that's reality.
Yeah.
I don't think you need this receiver, considering Goff has a good relationship with Reynolds. Amon-Ra St. Brown, there's no denying his connection with Goff. Back-to-back 100-catch seasons, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. Oh, including Jameson Williams, who you would expect to have a breakout season. And even if Jameson Williams disappoints, you were still a top 5 offense to start the year when he wasn't there, and the majority of the year when he wasn't there.
And that was
you were top 10 in scoring, top 7 in yards.
That was first year in that system, which is even more impressive, to be honest with you. So we'll see.
Man.
I guess this puts the Quentin Johnston at 18 talks to bed, hopefully.
Well, I don't like it. I don't.
You see a lot of those.
I just don't see Brad Holmes taking a wide receiver in the first round back-to-back years.
I had Bryce Ford-Wheaton late in my draft. I think you have Jalen Hyatt
I
in yours.
would love Jalen Hyatt.
There's a couple options that you're going to be able to get.
You want to talk about potentially moving up 4, 5, 6 spots in the second round to secure a wide receiver like Jalen Hyatt? I'd be on board with that. I would definitely be on board with that. No way Marvin Jones takes wide receiver off the table in round 1. I would agree. I don't think Marvin Jones, the signing, takes a wide receiver in the first round off the board. I think what takes a wide receiver off the first round, off the board in the first round, is common sense.
Yes.
I don't think Marvin Jones eliminates that discussion. I think it's just common sense.
No, it was even before that we were talking. It shouldn't be a discussion. There's going to be value you could still find later in the draft, besides taking Quentin Johnston at 18 over some of the better defensive players.
We're going to get to that in 2 minutes. You guys know how I feel? You know my ideal scenario of how the first round plays out? Not just a player, positions mainly. Phone lines are open, 313-552-6322. Call in. 8:15, a few minutes from now, Jeff and I are going to take calls. What do you want to see the Detroit Lions do in the first 2 rounds? Again, you want to be creative. You want to tell me you're going to trade back, move up. What player? Why? Go for it.
If you think it's a wide receiver,
I'm open to everything.
Please call.
But call in
yes,
and explain why. I may not agree, but at least explain why. All right? So let's have some fun this morning. 8:30, you guys know what's coming up after the fact. There is somebody I am in love with that I would like to share a little snippet of his pro day with all of you and tell me what you think. I'm not going to influence you in one way or the other. I would just like you guys to formulate a pretty well-rounded thought/opinion. So we'll get to that at 8:30. But coming up next, callers, call in now. Receiver in the first round, you can answer the poll on woodwardsports.com. But before we go, I got to tell you where I really need to go, and I've been dodging it, and I won't lie to you, I'm probably going to dodge it again today. We'll see if I have time. That's me going to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, because my goodness, I look like a goddamn grizzly bear. Open 10-8, 7 days a week, walk in any time, no appointment necessary. They're awesome stylists, will take care of you like they take care of me. So, what are you waiting for? Get to a local Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in Downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
All right. 8:14 on a beautiful Thursday morning. The week is flying by, and I honestly don't like that.
Love the audience, by the way. Love the voting process of the poll.
Yeah,
Receiver in the first round.
87% of people have common sense. Must be nice.
Love that. Yeah.
Love it. Having said that, the phone lines are open. 313-552-6322. You're tuning in live. Great. Missing the show? Always watch and listen back after the fact. Download the podcast. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find the morning show. Leave Jeff a 5-star review for dealing with me. I think that alone in and of itself deserves a lot of credit.
That's fair.
You deal with a lot of things I say. I'm not sure if you're guilty by association, but here we are. What are you going to do? Callers are open. Like I said, 313-552-6322. JB, let's send the first person through. Who do we got?
All right, so we got a stacked up line right here, and actually there's 2 James on the phone.
God damn it.
I know, so we'll try this. Here's the first James.
All right, James, number 1, where are you from, and what do you got for us this morning?
Good morning. How's it going, guys?
It's going, man. It's going.
It's James from Leslie.
All right, here we go. Welcome, James.
I'm the guy with the older socks like you guys, you know.
I do remember that.
James, what would you like to see this Lions team do in the first 2 rounds?
First 2 rounds, the very first one, whether Carter passes the test and everything. If he does, if he's available, take him. If not, Calijah Kancey. And then I get an edge rusher with the 18th pick. And then I would trade up to get the best left. Hopefully, the kid out of Mississippi, Forbes.
Emmanuel Forbes.
And then if he's available, I'd like to get extra interior line help. Even though I know they just signed Ragnow or
Glasgow. Yep.
Glasgow. Thank you. And Avila, if he's there, because I like that kid. He's a mauler. And that's what I'd like to.
James, I love that. That is my ideal dream scenario, especially the first round. Second round, I mean, we can always go back and forth on what position, what player moving up, moving down. But for me, interior lineman and edge rusher, if that's 6 and 18, James, I'll be very happy.
And then you go up and get Emmanuel Forbes. I'm with you, James.
Yeah, you just turned Jeff on with that.
Well, hey, after this past weekend, I got to try and keep up with that. And
I don't think anybody can keep up with Jeff, James.
Right,
but what are you gonna do?
No, we're moving, James.
Well, sorry, Jeff. I got to give you some gas.
Yeah, that's why I appreciate you, James. Good mock draft, man. I love it.
Appreciate it, James. Well done, man.
Okay, have a great one.
You
guys
too.
do a great job.
Oh man,
great,
Jeff.
great,
you are the local pimp of this town. I just want you to know that.
Because of you.
No.
Because of you.
No, this is not a rumor. This is facts.
All right.
This is factual on tape. You saw what Jackson Mahomes did? You were doing 10 times worse.
No, I was not. No, I was. Don't say that. No, that is not good. Jackson Mahomes, you sicko, man.
Oh, God.
That's messed up.
Should we go to James number 2, or we're switching it up? What would you like to do?
We can go to James number 2 if you want.
All right, let's go to James number 2. James 2.0. What do you got for us?
James squared.
James 2.0 out of Detroit.
Hell yeah.
I'm a firm believer in the Lions picking up, of course, Carter.
Mm-hmm.
We've all gotten in trouble in school, so nobody cares about that. And I've been in a lot of races on the freeway in my life. I just haven't had anybody die from it. So, but I'd like for us to pick up in the late in the first round, get that right tackle from, I believe he's from Texas.
Texas or Florida? Are you referring
Texas.
to Torrance?
Oh, no. I was talking about that big bruiser from Texas.
Gosh.
If not him,
Christian Jones?
I believe that's him. He hits people like a child that you told him you're not going to get any Fruit Loops today for breakfast.
And what do you want to see him do in the second round?
I would actually like for them to trade up and get Beydoun.
You said
In the
Beydoun?
late-
Wow. I don't know about that. I don't think he's going to be there by 18.
You taking care of 3. Yeah, I'm saying you taking care of 3 positions.
Yeah.
And use their draft capital. If you got all that draft capital, you might as well use it to get a super running back. I couldn't handle the Lions. No, the opposition trying to figure out what they're going to do with two running backs coming at them fresh, back to back to back to back. They wouldn't know what to do. The play action would be.
I'll tell you what, James. I'm not a fan of trading up for a running back. I'm just not. I think the David Montgomery signing is enough. Even with Swift, even if he misses the entire year, I'm pretty sure I can find somebody in the 5th round that can be pretty productive in the NFL. It's just how it always works, but I appreciate the call, James. Well done, buddy. Here's what I want to do next, by the way, for anybody that's going to call in. If you're going to trade up, I would like to know to what spot. Be very specific on where you're trading up, right? So, for example, if you do want to trade up for Beydoun, I think you have to get into the top 12. I just do. I don't see arguably a top 5 player overall in this draft making it past 12, 13. I just don't. So let's be a little more specific. But the phone lines are open, 313-552-6322. JB, if you don't mind sending D through. D, you're on the morning show. What do you got for us, buddy?
What's going on, man? It's D from the D. Last time I called, I was Jim, though. So, I don't know what the hell my man's James 2.0 was just talking about. I disagree. But here's my thing. First round, what I want us to do, Calijah, Kancey. Did y'all just see how that man handled himself? He already aced the damn scouting combine. Yep. Then he come back and double down with his pro day.
Preach.
Like that's how you handle yourself as a fucking professional.
Yes, sir.
That's what we need next to Aiden Hutchinson and everything that we building in this culture. And then pick 18, we open. But what I would hope happen second round, I hope Zay Flowers fall and we could get him in the second round. That's what I would love.
Okay.
And then I also love Steve Avila.
Okay.
Guard.
So you're on the defensive line and offensive line. I like it, man.
Build from the trenches.
That's where my head's at, too. I love the idea of defensive linemen stacking up. You can never have too many of them. And you said it perfectly on Calijah, Kancey. That's exactly what's happening at 8:30, by the way. I'm going to show everybody at home a little bit of how he handled himself at his pro day. And I really want you guys to pay attention and understand the difference. Great call, D. Appreciate it, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, by the way, he just spoiled 8:30, but whatever. Look, man, I love the fact that you guys are calling in, though, and you're consistent with defensive line. You know, whether for him it was Zay Flowers, Calijah. I don't care who. You're not going to win brownie points with me by telling me who, right? I'm not going to judge you on who you want the defensive line. What I want to make sure we're all aware of is if you can walk away with an interior lineman and an edge rusher in the first round, I think that is a home run scenario. I just do. Mm-hmm. Now, is there going to be an offensive lineman available in the first round that you want to stash and move to guard? I don't know. Maybe. We'll see how the board plays out.
And I won't hate it. And
if I'm taking a wide receiver, I'm not doing it in the first round.
No.
I'd rather do it at 48 or move up to 43 from 48 and try to secure a Jalen Hyatt.
Or even take one a little later. Like there's a lot of options.
Options is a key word this morning, Jeff. Let's go to, who is it? Mackey?
Mackay.
I apologize. Mackay, you're on the morning show. What do you got for us, buddy?
What's happening, fellas?
What's going on?
What's up, man?
Hey, I'm thinking we need to address that defensive line. Got to get Jalen Carter or Cancey, and if not, we need to trade up and get either a solid edge on the end to help out Houston and Hutchinson. In the second round, I would like to see to strengthen up that linebacker core. That's a definite need.
I would agree, man. I love it. I love it. Let me ask you this. Edge rusher, right? Let's say you take Carter at 6, okay? Let's live in that world.
Yeah.
Who's going to be there at 18? Who do you think is going to be there at 18, and who would you take a chance on? Or would you move up to possibly secure an edge rusher at 12, 13?
I wouldn't be opposed to even moving back.
Okay.
It's pretty deep. It's pretty deep this year. I just want the best player available, and I'm trusting Brad Holmes will find that guy.
Oh man, that's music to my ears. That's the word, Mackay. Trust Brad Holmes. Like to me, stress levels were at an all-time high for me last year. This was the biggest draft. They couldn't mess up the number 2 overall pick. We had to have these daily battles about Kyle Hamilton and Malik Willis, and you ended up with Aiden Hutchinson, and it was a beautiful thing. And then, of course, traded up for Jameson Williams. You hope he becomes special. I'm looking forward to it. Josh Pascal, you'd like to see improve his second year, but I think there's a lot of good things going on right now. Appreciate the call, Mackay.
No problem.
Jeff, let me ask you this. Everybody's saying defensive line, okay?
Yep.
I'm on board. This is music to my ears. To me, this is the best way these calls could have been handled, right? Nobody's calling in for Quentin Johnston at 18, even though he's not even the best wide receiver available in the first round.
I agree.
Nobody's calling in suggesting a quarterback. Thank you. Are we at a point where the fan base collectively, for the most part, right? I can't speak for everybody, but are we at a point where this fan base is dialed into this football team, where they're like, yeah, defensive line, get a guard, linebacker, please.
Yep.
Corner, you can never go wrong. Wide receiver, great. Later on, fans seem dialed in to me.
Yeah, it's never a bad thing to add to your defensive line. And you even look at Brad when he first got to Detroit. I mean, he always made that clear. They wanted to build from the trenches. And even doing that last year with the talent they had and the talent they're going to continue to add, it's never a bad thing to address the defensive line. Now, whether it's tackle, edge rusher, whatever it is, I don't care. But the fact that people want to address it so much, I actually appreciate it a lot. More so than a corner at 6. If you're going to convince me Jalen Carter, Kancey, and edge, I'm all on board. So I love it.
Okay, look, we got a few more people lined up. God, their phone lines are packed. How the hell am I going to get to everybody in 3 minutes? This is not going to happen. Okay. Everybody that's calling in, all right? Dre, Jesse, Terrell, all of you guys, okay?
Oh, Terrell from FM.
I have to go to break, okay? I do. But I'm going to leave the phone lines open. You can call back around 9 o'clock. 9:15-ish, and when you do, we'll take callers in the second hour again, okay? How about that? Because we have to move on. We got to get to Calijah, Kancey coming up next. We have to get to our in-division mock drafts. I'd like to get to that as well.
Yes.
And then I would like to continue to take calls after the fact. Fair? So let's do that, but we'll take a break. Before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Cintron.
Well, Cintron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings, and right now they have an exclusive offer for Woodward sports fans. Listen, you go to drinkcintron.com. They got their whole, look, you see the pack right there, the sampler box, cranberry, sugar-free, the classic. Head over there, drinkcintron.com/Woodward, and try it today. You get all 3 delicious flavors.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan.
Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals in town. Plus, they will beat all competitors by $5. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Let me tell you about our friends over at Ulta, because at Ulta, uptime matters. They have everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, Ulta Rent has you covered. Call them today, 844-GO-TO-ULTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ULTA today.
All right. We're back here on the Morning Woodward Show, live, woodwardsports.com. Adham, Beydoun, Jeff, Iafrate as always. Okay. If we want to talk about drafting certain types of players, right? I think on-the-field performance matters. I think the tape matters. And let's just get more specific. When we talk about an interior defensive lineman, you are looking for a game wrecker with the 6th overall pick, right? You're looking for a guy to bring in day one, and he's going to play significant snaps and produce day one. That's the expectation, okay? Cool. Well, the Jalen Carter Pro Day obviously has turned a lot of heads. Some people are still on board, some people are off. But I would like to share with you about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes of how a young man shows up and nails their Pro Day interviews and how you handle yourself on and off the field. Alex, if you don't mind, you can go ahead and throw it up on the screen. Alex, hello? What are you looking at me like that for?
What did you want? Sorry.
Jesus Christ. All right. If you don't mind, let's throw up the Calijah Kancey Pro Day conversation, please. Thank you very much.
Disappointed. It's going to happen, and it's not going to happen. I don't know. We got to see. They got to call my name.
Did you meet with the Steelers yet, or are you planning to meet with them at some point?
I didn't meet with the Steelers.
Are you going to?
No, sir.
When teams talk to you about, when they ask questions about your height and how you overcome that, what do you tell them about the things that you can put together that make height not matter?
The height is, it don't matter to me, honestly. Playing defensive tackle, you got to play with great pad level. No defensive lineman play at 6'7". I mean, you gotta bend at the point of attack. You gotta play with good footwork, good pad level, or you're gonna get moved around. So I feel like my height don't have nothing to do with me playing that position.
Calijah, what are your plans on draft day? Do you have any? Are you going to the draft, or are you watching back home with family?
If I get invited to Kansas City, I'm definitely going. If not, I'll figure it out from there.
Calijah, you finished the last 2 games of the season with a shoulder injury. You didn't play those last 2. I mean, having to battle back from that on top of having to prepare for this NFL draft process. I mean, how much more of a problem was that for you, and how do you feel like you were able to overcome that shoulder injury?
I think it was just a little bump in the road. I know I had to hurry up and recover, focus on the shoulder. That was the main priority. If I wasn't healthy, then I wouldn't even be in this position now. So I had to put more work into getting my shoulder together.
What do you want NFL teams to know about you?
I'm a great football player, great leader. I'm a guy that you could depend on.
Calijah, what was this day like for you to have this with your teammates and have your old teammates cheering you on?
I think it was fun. We all came in, competed. We had fun. We had our older teammates just cheering for us and being there, and I think it was great. We're back home on South Side where we're comfortable.
Do you have any memories?
Wow.
Hey, Jeff, what do you want NFL teams to know about you? That I'm a hard worker and I'm a leader.
That's typically what you want in your defensive line room.
Do you know what Jalen Carter answered at his pro day?
Oh, God.
That I'm a fat fuck.
No, he didn't.
Who went 89 and a 45. That's what Jalen Carter answered.
I don't think he did that.
Job interviews don't matter. They matter to me. This idea that this guy needs to be the biggest and the strongest to be effective in the NFL is just a complete lie.
Yeah, I agree with
think
that.
he broke it down beautifully. I think he answered all the critics himself. His production speaks for itself. His explosion off the line of scrimmage. And like he said, it's about pad level, man. You don't sit there and stand straight up in the NFL and play defensive tackle. You are fighting a battle getting as low as possible to gain leverage. And if there's one thing this kid knows about, is how to gain leverage. Why? He doesn't have the longest arms. That is a fact. I get it.
So doesn't Aiden.
So doesn't Aaron Donald. Now here we are. I'm not going to let the short arms or the idea that you want the name so bad that it's Jalen Carter talk me out of this kid's not going to be really good in the NFL. You hear that? Anybody talk about his shoulder injury all off season? Anybody? Did anybody say how his shoulder could be holding him back in his pro day or the combine? I didn't hear anything. He worked his ass off and got himself in shape. Made sure he was ready. Oh, and he was. And the guy who wasn't injured showed up 9 pounds overweight. And because I'm asking for the third best, or excuse me, the third highest, not third, I apologize, the 4th highest rated defensive lineman in the NFL draft. Because I'm asking for the 4th highest rated at 6. Likely because 2 will be gone in the top 5. Depends, we'll see what happens with Arizona and Seattle. That's a reach. I'm reaching on that kid. Really? That's how you handle yourself. That's how you talk. That's how you answer the bell. And there was so much more. And I wish I could sit here and literally play the whole 5-minute video. I would enjoy it. That's how you handle an interview.
Yeah.
That's how you handle a pro day. That's how you show up and double down on, hey, I had a good combine. Watch this.
Well, him talking.
You guys don't have to agree. Again, I'm not forcing you. You don't have to agree with me about Kancey at 6. But we can cut the shit on this kid being one of the best defensive prospects coming out in this draft.
Him talking about leverage, pad level, bendability. I mean, you look at even a guy like James Houston, who Lions fans absolutely love, who had 8 sacks in 7 games, 6'1".
Lions fans.
But a lot of it was his leverage, his bendability. Like Calijah Kancey, to me, looking at his height, whatever it is, his arm length, that does not. It's not a concern to me. For people saying draft him at 18, That's the risk. Will he be there at 18? I don't think so.
He won't be.
So that kind of poses a question. Do you stay put, take him at 6? You trade back and try and get him? To me, it's not as easy as just wait till 18 to draft him. I don't think he'll be there. So I'm with you, Adam. This kid is he's special. He has to go. He has to go top 15 at the max.
I love the kid. He was uber productive at Pitt. You guys can talk all you want. The reality is there's no such thing as reaching and getting the pick right.
What about Josh S? WoodwardSports.com. I'd rather miss on him at 18 than take him at 6.
You'd rather miss on him at 8. So you think he's going to miss?
No, he'd rather wait till 18. If he's there, he's there. If he's not, he's not, rather than overdraft him at 6.
And what happens when you miss on Carter? Then what? Since we're going to play the if scenario. What happens if you miss on Carter? What happens if you miss on Carter and the kid with all the intangibles, checks all the boxes, handles himself like a pro, humble, quiet, a leader on and off the field? What happens if he's an all-pro defensive tackle in 3 years?
Well, then you're going to look back and say we should have taken Kalijah Kancey.
This is a risk either way, taking Kancey and Carter. I'm very aware of that.
Right.
But don't play the what-if game with me.
Now, I'm still on the Carter train, but I understand the obsession with Kalijah Kancey. I think it's easy to fall in love with him. His mentality, the way he speaks, how he approaches the game, his productivity, position of need. The Lions need a defensive tackle.
We talked yesterday, right? And we said, hey, isn't it odd that Brad Holmes has been very quiet on all the defensive tackles and that position in general leading up in this process, and that they haven't paid any attention to it? It's all been Jalen Carter. It's been other positions. Does anybody find that odd? You listen to the kid at his pro day. You tell me that's not a Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes player. Tell me.
No, he
Just
is.
convince me how he isn't.
Football character.
He checks every box that this GM and head coach have told us they look for in players. Again, Adam, I can't sit up here and convince all of you at home watching and listening to fall in love with this kid the way I have. I'm not going to waste my time doing that, okay? I'm not going to sit up here and say that it's egregious to take Jalen Carter over this kid at 6. Jalen Carter is an unbelievable specimen. But when we talk about intangibles and why players do and don't work, one guy is making me ask questions, the other's making me feel real good. So you guys can have it either way.
And for the comments about Aleem McNeil, listen, I love Aleem McNeil. I think
Aleem McNeil is a nobody.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I think
he's a nobody. Is he a top 5 defensive lineman?
No, he's
top
not.
10?
He's a depth.
15?
He's a depth piece, especially against the run. He's great against the run. But if you're talking about an interior pass rush, Kalijah Kancey's the guy.
And you know who? Forget Kancey.
Or Jalen Carter's the guy.
Let's say Carter or Kancey, okay? You have to go defensive interior lineman because it's going to make James Houston, Aiden Hutchinson, Josh Pascal, and all these guys significantly better. Day one. Now again, you want to be the team or the GM that takes Jalen Carter? Be my guest. Be my guest. But I think character matters, especially at these type of positions. What are you looking for in a defensive lineman? This is a guy that's going to get beat up all game. They're going to get pushed around. They play the most physical position in football along with offensive linemen. Mm-hmm. They are going to war for 60 minutes with other 300-pound, 6'3", 6'4" offensive linemen that are trying to kill them. And while they're doing that, they have to tackle a quarterback or a running back, or whatever the hell it's going to be. Do I want the guy in the fourth quarter that's going to be overweight or tired or angry or not focused? Or do I want the kid that seems dialed into football, seems all in on himself, getting himself correctly? And oh, may I remind all of you, his defensive coach at Pitt is one of the most admired in all of college football. He comes from good coaching. I think that also matters. Jordan Davis, wasn't he supposed to be the greatest defensive prospect coming out last year? That's what I was told. He was good-ish. Year 1 with the Eagles. And that was on a stacked defense. You guys want me to invest my future in players? They have to check the off-the-field stuff too. Because very rarely do the guys with all the intangibles, but then all the off-the-field issues, rarely do they ever get to that ceiling. Sign me up for the 3-star recruit that went to Pitt and put himself in a position to be a top 12, top 15 pick. Give me that kid. Because you know what Aiden Hutchinson was, by the way? He wasn't the number 1 overall rated defensive prospect coming out. He had to work his ass off. Sign me up for the guys that put in the work. That to me is an indicator. Jalen Carter, God bless him, physical specimen, beast. I like to think he's going to be very good in the NFL. The tape doesn't lie. But neither does Calijah Kancey's. You guys can save the shit this morning. I got nothing else to say on Calijah Kancey, Jeff.
I'm just reading some of these comments.
Go for it.
Mike G says Kancey went up against lower-level offensive linemen. He also said Carter went up against SEC best O-line. So that's your deciding factor.
The SEC actually doesn't bring out the best offensive linemen. It's actually in the Big Ten. But, okay. Next. What else?
Look at you.
Last I checked, 3 offensive linemen are going to go in the first round. They're all from the Big Ten. Last I checked.
It's very true. Solomon says, I wouldn't be mad either way. If Holmes drafts Carter, I trust he did his homework. If he doesn't draft him, I trust he did his homework. It's very true. I put a poll in the chat, too. How would you feel about Calijah Kancey at 6? 66% voted I wouldn't be opposed. 35% voted absolutely not.
What were the numbers again? 66-34?
Yep.
The idea that this kid is too small is a lie. He's 6'1", he's 280, and he measured such at his pro day, just like at the combine. There were doubts. He shut them all up. Let's see. How would you feel about both? I don't think both is realistic. Again, Jalen Carter, to me, I get how difficult it would be to pass on him. I get it. But let me ask you this. If 3 quarterbacks go in the top 5 and Will Anderson gets off the board, and at 5 the Seahawks decide to go for Jalen Carter, then what, Detroit? Then what? Let me ask you that. Since you guys want to play that game with me.
Very interesting situation.
Let me ask you that. A coach who can actually handle personalities, an organization that's handled those type of guys before in Seattle, I don't see that as being a long shot.
So in that situation, you have any of the corners, Tyree Wilson or like a Will Levis.
Or Calijah Kancey.
Or Calijah Kancey. And I would argue, I mean, position
so
of
let
need.
me ask you guys that.
Position
what
of need.
happens if Carter and Anderson go 3 and 5?
I'm considering it. Maybe you try to move back, but if you're stuck at 6 and you can't move back, I'm not taking Anthony Richardson, I'll tell you that, over Calijah Kancey.
God, that, you know, by the way, we haven't talked about Anthony Richardson or any quarterback scenario. I find it funny. It's quieted down a little bit. But, man, I would be heartbroken if they take a quarterback at 6. I would. I would be very disappointed. I would.
And I know people want Tyree Wilson. I'm not a huge Tyree Wilson guy. I mean, I get it, but all the injury concerns, there's a lot of stuff I'm concerned about Tyree Wilson. But if they take him, I wouldn't be, livid. But Calijah Kancey, interior defensive pass rush. If it's a need, he won't be there at 18. So it's something you're going to have to think about.
Yeah, well, look, we'll take a break. When we get back, let's get to the in-division mock drafts. We had Jeff, JB, and myself all look at the Packers, the Bears, and the Vikings. What would they do in the NFL draft? Get better insight into what your division opponents are going to do. So we'll start with the Packers and Jeff coming up next. But before we do, Jeff, our good friends over at Guardian Alarm.
Let me tell you about them. Guardian Alarm, allow them to help you out during this time and allow them to take care of your house. Listen, it's a tough time. We're talking about defense in the draft, drafting a defensive tackle at 6. Draft Guardian Alarm at 6. It's the best defense on planet Earth. Call them 1-800-STAY-OUT. Let them know your friends at Woodward Sports sent you.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
All right, let me tell you about my good friends over at Custom Health Centers. Dr. Jason and his excellent team of health physicians will help you turn your life around. Ryan Ermanni already down over 20 pounds since he started the program. Woo! Give him a call today. Change your life. 844-789-8446. That's 844-789-8446. We are back here on the Morning Woodward Show, live, woodwardsports.com. You're missing the show live. You can always listen back after. Download the podcast. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever the hell you listen to podcasts. You can find The Morning Woodward Show. Leave a 5-star review for Jeff's beautiful hair. How do you not?
I'd be honest.
But here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with the Green Bay Packers. The Packers likely to lose Aaron Rodgers this offseason. They've already lost Alan Lazard, so wide receiver likely at the top of their concern board. So, Jeff, you're the GM for the Packers. The Lions are trending upwards. How do you plan on catching up?
So I decided to put on the hat of Brian Gutekunst for the Packers, which is not a very ideal hat, to be honest with you. But they do have a lot of draft picks. So I had fun with this. And I'm not as familiar with all the needs of the Packers, but I did go BPA in a lot of these situations. And if you can, Alex, if you have the graphic, throw up this graphic for me. Okay, there you go. At 15, Jackson Smith-Njigba was there, and I didn't really think twice about it. I know they have Christian Watson, they have Romeo Doubs, but Jackson Smith-Njigba is far better than any of those guys, and in my opinion, he's the best receiver in the draft. So I get him at 15. He's there. I don't trade up. I don't trade back. I stay put, take him. And then at pick 45, I decided to go edge rusher, Felix Uzomah. Out of Kansas State. Honestly, one of my favorite edge rushers, I guess, past the first round. Very productive at Kansas State. And then at 78, I went safety. Went Jordan Battle there. I know there's a couple different options, but I decided to go with Jordan Battle because it's somebody that you've seen a couple times in our own mock drafts for the Lions address the safety position. Ivan Pace Jr. in round 4. The Packers' picks are very spread out, too, which is really weird. They have a couple fifth-round picks. They have 4 seventh-round picks. So it's a very interesting, selection process here. So you got Ivan Pace Jr. You had to address tight end. You lost Robert Tonyan to the Bears. Got Davis Allen in the 5th round out of Clemson. It is what it is. I drafted Chandler Zavala, one of my favorite guards, late in the draft, too, out of North Carolina State. Got him at 170. And then I got a Clayton Tune, and I'm going to explain this for a second. So I drafted a quarterback, even though I'm the Packers, because of a couple reasons. Number one, it's a little bit of an insurance policy, if I'm being honest with you. Not saying Clayton Tune in the 7th round will be your starter, but at least you have somebody behind Jordan Love. So I can't hate that much. Drafted another wide receiver, Justin Shorter, bigger wide receiver, 6'4" out of Florida. If you watch Anthony Richardson this year, you'll know who Justin Shorter is. And then I got Dante Stills. And then, of course, just for laughs, Jake Moody. Mason Crosby, he's he's an artifact, so he's going to have to retire very soon. I got Jake Moody to replace him, and especially at 256, they gave me a C+ for it, which I thought was hilarious.
No, they gave you an A. Oh, for
no,
the
yes,
Moody
for
pick.
Jake
I'm
Moody.
sorry.
Yes, so I got Jake Moody in the 7th round, but there you go. That's my entire draft. Addressed a lot of different positions. 2 wide receivers.
You went defense early.
Yes, I did.
Edge, safety, linebacker, rounds 2 to 4.
I got the wide receiver out of the way, and then
that's my favorite pick, by the way. Jackson Smith and Jibba, you're getting the best wide receiver in the draft class at pick 15. I think it's a great pick.
Yeah, no, I love this draft personally. I think you addressed a lot of positions.
I think
bring
you
in
did
another
well.
weapon for Jordan Love. You get a little insurance policy behind Jordan Love, and you shore up some of your defense. Because the Packers last year, although they were a top passing defense, they were almost last in passing plays allowed per play, like the yards. So they gave up a lot of big plays. So why not address it?
Look, if that's the Packers draft, I would be impressed. I think that's a solid board. Jordan Battle, you can always sign me up for getting a safety, let alone a safety coached by Nick Saban. Sign me up in the 3rd round. I have no problem with it at all. Ivan Pace Jr., solid. Davis Allen, to me, is the underrated pick here. You're going to need a tight end. Tunyon gone. Solid. Solid work, Jeff. PFF gave you an A. I'm going to give you an A.
I appreciate it. Now, do I absolutely hate this for the Packers? Ideally, because we talk about the Lions so much? Yes, but it is a great draft, personally. The Packers end with those
if you're the
players.
Packers and you're trying to catch the Lions, you got to start with a really good draft this year, right?
Yeah.
I think we all agree the Lions right now, they're the prohibitive favorite among all odds makers to win the North. But if you're any other NFC North team, you're looking at the Lions right now, you're like, how do we catch up? They're young. They're not going anywhere. We got to hit on our draft picks.
And by the way, I love this comment because this is the same thing I thought of when I was doing the mock draft. DNC says, if the Packers take a first-round wide receiver the year Aaron leaves,
it'd be hilarious.
That's when he's asked for the last 5 years, he's going to blow Green Bay up. Yeah. Well, this is how you should address it, especially with a young quarterback. Even with Aaron, they should have taken a wide receiver, but why not now? I mean,
didn't Green Bay pass on receivers like Justin Jefferson and A.J. Brown and
DK Metcalf? Yeah, they passed on.
Didn't they pass on all these receivers at one point?
Yes, but a lot of guys did pass on DK, but you're right, they did.
I'm only saying the Packers because Rodgers has been begging for one for 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
Outside of Devontae Adams.
Even last year, when they lost Devontae, they took a 2
Christian
edges.
Watson. Woo!
Yeah, and then they took Christian Watson, which he's pretty good, but still, they need to address it still. There's no way I'm rolling into next season with Dobbs and Watson and saying, let's roll. It's not happening.
Oh, God. Funky says, if I'm Green Bay, I'm taking a wide receiver just to piss off Aaron
I'm
Rodgers.
with you, Funky.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that. By the way, Jets, Packers, get it done already.
I know.
It's very annoying. I know the Packers don't have to do anything, and they feel like they have all the leverage, but just fucking get it over with. Your fan base is sick of the guy. Your organization is sick of the guy. We are sick of the guy. Like, just get it over with. Please. Please. Take the fucking picks. Move on. It's not that hard. You wanted to... Help me! Please! I can't say the other word, right, JB? Oh, God. JB, what did you think of his board?
It was good. I like it. That's a very good starting jump-off point for the Packers to start on. They got to rebuild this franchise somehow, some way, and it's going to be through the draft, and you hit on a lot of good picks right there.
You got to know what you have in Jordan Love. So why not take arguably the best wide receiver? Let's see what you got, Jordan. I mean, your rookie deal is coming to an end. Are you our quarterback of the future or not? You'll find out with those picks. So.
All right, well, look, let's do JB's, actually. We have some time. Let's do JB's. JB's, unfortunately, the Vikings didn't give you much to work with. So, Alex, if you don't mind, let's throw JB's up on the screen. JB, talk me through it. What did the Minnesota Vikings do in this draft class?
As you said, the Vikings don't give me a lot to work with here. They got 5 picks. The first one, of course, is the 23rd pick.
Wow.
Calijah Cancey falls. The Lions do not take him, so, of course, I had to. I'm not going to pass up on that opportunity. Then I have to sit here and wait till the 3rd round because I didn't do any trades. I didn't trade up or anything to try and hurt the rest of these draft picks they have for next year in the franchise. But Garrett Williams, cornerback out of Syracuse. So he was available. I took him. He's very nice, solid corner right there that you have. I mean, production hurt him last year. He did have that ACL injury, so of course. But before then, you know, QBs were scared to throw to his side of the field. So got to start off there. Next,
KJ Henry.
KJ Henry in the 4th.
I like it.
119. I'm just sitting back this whole draft simulator like, come on. when am I going to get the pick? But edge rusher out of Clemson. His length, quick hands. He is a project you're going to have to work on as well, too. But hopefully he can get to Minnesota and they can work on him a lot more there just to develop his skills a little bit more. After that, Adam Thielen, of course, is gone. So I had to go wide receiver on this pick.
Big
just
body.
Because
if you're a Minnesota fan,
it's the only.
It must be rough right
pick.
now. You have negative cap space available.
And 5
You're dead
picks.
last in the NFL with cap space. You're going to have to pay Justin Jefferson. And then you have our professional JB over here trying to help a shit situation. And it's rough to look at.
Brian Ford Wheaton out of West Virginia. I mean, I like the guy. He battles for jump balls, but also he gets into contact for those battles for jump balls as well. He doesn't separate himself, so that's something he's going to have to learn. Hopefully Justin Jefferson can teach him that.
Oh, that's a good teacher.
You never know. And lastly, of course, I had to go quarterback because Kirk Cousins is the only valuable quarterback you have on the roster right now. Nick Mullins is not going to do
What a
any
garbage
good.
pick that was.
So I
Nick
just had to
Mullins
say
was
Aiden
Malik
O'Connell.
Willis before you guys ever knew about us. Oh, my God. What a Look, JB, I'm not going to lie to you. I think you did really well.
I tried.
I think you addressed very important positions, good players. There's not much you can do when you don't have much draft capital. Shout out to the Minnesota Vikings. I hope TJ Hawkinson is slobbing the knob right now at the moment. And you're feeling great about that trade.
And I actually love the Aiden O'Connell pick in the 6th round. I mean, to your point, you need a quarterback. And honestly, in terms of similarity, Aiden and what he can do, his strengths, it's similar to Kirk. So groom him. You can kick Kirk out of there if he keeps choking on prime time. But no, I like it, JB. Good job.
Well
Even
done,
though they got
JB.
no picks.
Well done. Sorry that we gave you Minnesota. I didn't realize how shit their situation was.
I didn't realize it either until I seen it. I
Just
was like,
horrible,
what
man.
is this?
No cap space. Oh, goodness me. And they can't even fix their defense. Oh, God. Good luck, Minnesota. Enjoy. Enjoy. Must be nice. Must be nice.
Must be nice.
All right, here's what we're going to do. What we're going to do is we're going to take a break. When we get back, I'll get to the Chicago Bears, the mock I put together for the Chicago Bears, what I think is best for them. If this board shapes out the way it does, we've seen Jeff's, we've seen JB's, you'll see the Bears and mine. Anybody touching the Lions this year? I'm going to say no. But we'll get to that next, along with the Bears mock draft. And then at 9:15, we'll start taking callers again, and we'll have a good rest of the show. It's going to be fun. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Chili Peppers Tanning.
Well, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find all the cleanest salons in the D with spotless, sanitized rooms and trained and certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals. They'll beat all competitors by $5. They got the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans, your vitamin D headquarters, 27 locations, and more on the way.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Listen, head over to Big Boy and check out the Seafood Fest, especially during this time. You head in there for breakfast. They got the fish fry buffet. Check it all out. Big Boy at your local Big Boy.
All right. Top of the hour. We're on the final stretch here. An hour to go.
I'm excited to see yours, the Bears.
Oh, you're going to love it. I think you're going to love it. We're live, woodwardsports.com. Adam Beydoun, Jeff Iafrate. All right, Jeff. The Chicago Bears mock draft. Now, when I think of the Chicago Bears, I think of a team that has told me, right, I got to operate under their current mindset. They've told me Justin Fields is their guy. Okay. All right. No problem. That's how I'm going to operate. Alex, if you don't mind, you can throw up the Bears mock draft on the screen, and I'll walk you guys through it with the 9th overall pick. For me, no hesitation here. Peter Skronsky, you take a tackle.
Love it.
You take a tackle. Protecting Justin Fields is my top priority, and that's where we start. We go to the 2nd round, Keanu Benton, interior defensive lineman. For me, I was very, very happy taking an interior lineman in the 2nd round. I had my choice of Benton or Ika. I went with Benton. And then pick 61, 8 picks later, they need a center, okay? You could argue they don't have to take one in the 2nd round, but I am getting, in my opinion, the best center on the board that's probably going to be available in the 2nd round. At that point, John Michael Schmitz out of Minnesota. I'm getting a center, offensive line. Again, I'm operating under the mindset that Fields is my quarterback. Cool. Here's how I'm going to protect him. I need Justin Fields to stay upright. I need him to stay healthy. I don't need him getting hurt. Offensive line is my main priority. They need secondary help. In the next 2 rounds, you see what I'm going to do. Eli Ricks out of Alabama. He exploded onto the scene his freshman year. He's never really produced as much as he did his freshman year, but damn it, in the 3rd round, I get a Nick Saban coached player. I'm happy with it. It addresses a need, and I double down on it. Jamie Robinson in the 4th round. I was surprised he was available at 103 in this version, but damn it, I'll take it. A safety. Again, the secondary for Chicago, you're going to want to address it. And then Chase Brown. You lose David Montgomery. And you know what? I don't think you can ever have too many running backs, especially when you're drafting them this late in the draft, right? You can never have enough. You're going to want to run the ball a ton in Chicago. And if I can take 2 or 3 or 4 carries away from Justin Fields, where he doesn't have to get clobbered in short to-go scenarios, I'm pretty happy with it. They have their running back currently, drafting Chase Brown. I'm not opposed to it. Similar to what you did, JB, I went with Bryce Ford Wheaton in the 5th round. Look, they got DJ Moore. They got, who's the other dude?
Darnell Mooney?
No, the one they traded for, not Mooney.
DJ Moore.
Chase Claypool?
No, thank you.
Oh, Chase Claypool,
Chase
yes.
Claypool. So they're already good at wide receiver, right? So me drafting a wide receiver in the first 4 rounds was off the board. It wasn't going to happen. But do I expect Claypool to be around for the future? Probably not. I think they're already regretting it. That 2nd round pick is technically a 1st round pick in theory. You're going to be able to get the 32nd, 33rd player off the board. That is unbelievable that they gave up that for Chase Claypool. Sucks for the Bears. And then again, offensive line. This late in the draft, what am I trying to hit on? Depth at the offensive line, depth at running back, and depth in the secondary. Terrell Smith at corner in the 7th round, and Muhammad Ibrahim in the 7th round as well. That to me is my board. What do you think of the board, boys? Jeff, I'll start with you.
So, one question. Back-to-back. Well, not back-to-back, but 2 running backs.
It's a 7th round pick. What am I taking in the 7th round? I'm not taking a quarterback. I have nobody there. There's nobody available in the 7th round that I'm going to sit there and tell you, man, I'm feeling really good about that pick. To me, the 7th round was whatever.
Because they signed Foreman, they signed Travis Homer.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it is
whatever.
It is. All right,
it's a whatever deal.
I
it's
like
the most injury-prone position.
The thing I respect the most actually is the 3 offensive linemen you took, and they're actually all good players. So I do like that. Build the offensive line.
That to me was my priority.
Yeah.
Take care of Justin Fields, address the interior line of the defense, get a secondary player early on. I got Eli Ricks. I got Jamie Robinson in the 3rd and 4th round. JB, what'd you think?
It's not bad. I probably got to agree with Jeff on the 2 running back situation there, but as you said, I mean...
It's the 7th round
It's the 7th round. You're not going to have much there. Bryce Ford Wheaton apparently is flying up draft boards as well, too. It sucks that they gave you a D+ on that pick, but
yeah,
whatever. It's like the Bears need some wide receiver help, at least a little bit from our standpoint, because as you said, all they have is DJ Moore, and Claypool, I don't think is going to pan out how everyone thinks. He had a flash in Pittsburgh, but after that, he's just been all downhill. So it's a nice draft pick.
And he's coming up, ain't he? Claypool, he needs to get paid. If I'm not wrong on that.
All right. Well, we've seen JB's.
I like it.
We've seen my mock. We've seen yours for the Packers, Bears, and Vikings. My question now is: do you feel any threat from any division rival, given the board plays out the way it does?
I mean, no. And I'll take the Packers, for example. Even if they had a draft like I just named, there's still a lot of question marks. The Lions, to me, have the least amount of question marks. Even the Vikings. I mean, the amount of picks, they have 5 picks. They're in cap hell. There's a lot of things they're going to have to figure out. The Lions, to me, there ain't too many questions. It's not like you're trying to figure out if you have a franchise quarterback. You kind of know what Jared Goff is. The Bears have Justin Fields. They're going to figure out what he is this year. More of. You got Kirk Cousins, Jordan Love. There's a lot more certainty with the Lions. So I don't think this really changes, to be honest. You should have more confidence in the Lions.
I loved what you did with the Packers. JB, you did what you could with the Vikings. I really liked what I did with the Bears. I still think the Lions are not just ahead of everybody, but a year ahead of all of these teams.
And how much
they're going to have to hit A+ drafts, and then maybe next year we can talk about them hitting another draft and getting on the Lions level. Because last I checked, Brad Holmes has already hit on 2 drafts, and he's about to hit on a 3rd.
Well, I was going to say, just having Brad Holmes boost puts you even further ahead?
Yeah.
Because that's the difference, having a guy like Brad.
It does, and let's all be real about Minnesota. I like the coach. I do. I really like Kevin O'Connell. With that defense, losing the players you lost because of your cap situation, good luck next year. You were 11-0 in the regular season in one-possession games. If you played 11 one-possession games next year, you would be lucky to go 6-5. Lucky to just be a game over 500 in one-possession games. It is so hard to win in this league, let alone in one-possession games. The fact they won 11 of them, yeah, not buying it.
But you don't think their defense will be better?
No!
By hiring Brian Flores.
Who are they giving him?
Well, they still gave they signed Marcus Davenport.
Like lost Patrick Peterson.
They did.
Lost Kendricks.
Yeah, but they almost cut Zadarius Smith. They kept him. They found a way to keep him.
Well, thankfully they kept him. That would have been a disaster for them.
I'm with you. The close game argument, you're absolutely correct. I mean,
they're not winning the amount of games they won last year. It's not happening.
That's the big one. I still like Brian Flores a lot, so I think defense will be a little better. But yeah,
I think it's the Lions up here, the Vikings down here, the Packers really close to the Vikings in my opinion, and then only a little bit behind them are the Bears. I think these 3 teams are really neck and neck, and I think the Lions are well clear of all of them. I do.
Yeah.
You look at the situation, you look at how young they are. They've got the offensive line. They've been drafting on the defensive line for the last few years. They've addressed the secondary. You got a stable quarterback. The wide receiving room is nice. To me, the Lions have it all compared to the rest of the division.
You could say, if you rank the most important positions in football, which we've done often, the Lions have the best, I guess, at best at every one of those positions, you can argue.
Amon-Ra, the best receiver in the division? I wouldn't say that.
Well, I'm talking about quarterback, offensive line,
Goff, yes.
defensive
line, yes. Defensive line,
yes. I would say
yes. Pending the draft.
Yeah. After the draft, I think that'll be a yes.
And then wide receiver, it's got to be Minnesota.
No, I would agree with that, but still, you got 3 then. We got quarterback, most important position in football. You have more security with the Lions, so they have that going for them at least. So,
that was fun. That was fun. I still think if you were to rank the teams, Jeff, I went Lions, Vikings, Packers, Bears.
Mm-hmm.
I think those 3 teams can be swapped either way, to be honest with you. I think the Bears are going to be closer, especially with a board like that where they protect Justin Fields. They give him time in the pocket because he's got to develop as a passer.
Yep.
If you guys want to talk to me about Jalen Hurts working in the NFL, please go back and watch his second year. Jalen Hurts' first year, it was gimmicky. It was rough to watch. 55% completion percentage. Year 2, he took a really big step. And they made the playoffs.
Well, what happened?
And then year 3, it was MVP year. They went and got A.J. Brown. The rest is history, okay? Please, for your sake, Chicago, protect Justin Fields. He's got weapons now. There are no excuses. There are no excuses if you go heavy offensive line in the first 2 rounds.
Yep.
No excuses for Justin Fields. You'll find out sooner than later.
Yeah, you got to be able to protect him. I think that's number one. You can get him weapons, but if you can't protect him, it's going to be hard to see what you have. Even in Jalen Hurts with the Eagles, he walked into that offensive line already. So they just had to add A.J. Brown. The Bears are in a similar position, but you have the Packers and Bears just figuring out this year if they have franchise quarterbacks. Like, it is what it is. And the Vikings probably know they don't have a franchise quarterback. So that's what you're up against.
Fair enough. Well, look, here's what I want to do. I want to take a break in a few minutes, and then we'll get to the callers waiting on the line. But before we do, I want to ask a simple question, okay? Can everybody in the room agree? We would like to see the Detroit Lions draft a quarterback in the next 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
In the first round.
Yeah.
In the next 3 years. Can we all agree on that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we all agree that if the Lions are going to draft a quarterback in the first round, ideally, it would be the first or second quarterback taken? Ideally. Right? Not the fourth. And that's what you have this year. You're going to have the fourth quarterback available because 3 are going to go in the top 5. And I went through the list from the year 2000 on. On average, 80% of the quarterbacks that did work were the first one taken. The rest of it was the second, and never were the third or fourth quarterback taken in the first round better than the guys taken before them. It's never happened in the last 22 years. Now, have there been quarterbacks like Dak? God, who am I thinking of? Jimmy Garoppolo, second round. Jalen Hurts, second round. Yeah, I'm only talking about first round quarterbacks. If the Lions are going to take a quarterback in the first round, can we all agree it shouldn't be this year because you're going to end up landing the fourth quarterback available on the board? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, unless they trade up, I would say no.
A trade off. But you're still getting the third one.
Yeah.
Even in that case.
So you're in a tough spot. Like I said before, the only 2 quarterbacks I'm willing to take if I'm Brad personally is CJ and Bryce, but they're going to go 1 and 2. So at this point, I'm pretty much out unless you draft one late, maybe a Hendon Hooker. But you're right. At 6, if you stay
off
put,
the top of my
you
head,
got Will Levis in your lap.
Off the top of my head, there's the Alex Smith draft where he went 1 and I think Rodgers went 24. Yeah. That draft comes to my mind. And I think the Baker draft, where Lamar was 32.
Yeah.
I think Lamar
was the 2.
They traded.
But so those are the odds that you're up against.
But again, Aaron Rodgers, I believe, was the second quarterback taken.
So it's still...
Just like Mahomes was the second quarterback taken. Not the fourth. That's my argument.
Well, Deshaun, what was Deshaun?
Deshaun was the third quarterback taken. It was Mitchell, Mahomes, Deshaun in that order.
Mm-hmm.
My argument isn't that you're not going to find a quarterback in the first round. But if I had to put my odds on it, I'm taking the fourth one available. Let's go to the most recent example of this many quarterbacks going in the top 5. It went Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance. In the top 5. Trevor Lawrence is working. The other 2 have busted.
Or at least right now, they look like
Zach
bust.
Wilson's a bust.
Well, he's a bust. But Trey Lance, I'm not going to say
on the verge of busting because Brock Purdy has that locker room.
He hasn't been healthy.
And he's a 6th round pick. Or 7th rounder, I believe.
Yep. Mr. Relevant.
But even in that draft, Fields went 4th and Mac Jones went 5th. 5 quarterbacks in the first round. Those are the odds you're taking. I'm not sold on those odds. I'm not sold that there are 2 quarterbacks available that would be better than Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. I'm just not doing it.
And even in that draft when you had Mac Jones and Justin Fields slide past where the Lions were picked this year, it's not going to be that same luxury. I mean, you're going to have Will Levis.
Yep.
And then after that, it's you got all the other quarterbacks. So,
yep.
In my opinion, if you're not getting those top 2 guys, you look at Hendon, you look at Clayton Tune, you start looking at other options.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We'll take a break. When we get back, we're going to take some callers. We're going to take callers, your guys' review on the mock drafts we did. Where do you stand with the Detroit Lions? Do you agree with me? I think they're ahead of the pack right now. I don't think it's even close, to be honest with you. I think it's the Lions' division to lose.
I agree.
There is nobody at that level. Call in, share your thoughts, 313-552-6322. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Swiss Insurance.
Let me tell you about them, guys. Swiss Insurance. Get with them this week for your commercial insurance review. Swiss can help make sure you have the proper coverage. Give them a shot. You won't be disappointed. Email them at mark@swissins.com.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. Phone lines are open, 313-552-6322. JB, we can start with Timmy. Timmy, you're on the morning show. Let me ask you this. Your thoughts on the division where it stands now? You've seen Jeff's mock, my mock, JB's mock for the other division rivals. I think the Lions are clearly ahead of the pack. What do you think? Timmy?
Hello?
Yep, you there, Timmy?
Yep, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. What do you got?
Good. My name is actually Kenny, not Timmy.
Oh, way to go, JB.
My bad. That's not what I'm here.
Hey, how you guys doing this morning? Yeah, man. I mean, I think it's our division, man. You know, I've been a fan for pretty much my whole life. I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan, man. I watch you guys' show every day, man. You guys are
appreciate it.
Hitting it right on the nose. I even did a little mock draft myself, and even with the quarterback position that you guys been talking about, man. I actually ended up trading back with Washington and getting some good draft capital with those guys too, man. Traded back to 16, picking up Kancey. I actually think we need a tight end, to be honest with you. I like that guy from Utah.
Dalton Kincaid, yeah.
He's a stud.
Yeah, I like him. Yeah, he's a stud. I'm really big on getting a tight end. And I even took Aiden. I traded back with Washington, and I took Hooker, man. I'm big on him, man. I think he's going to be he's a Brad Holmes type of player, and I think we're heading in the right directions as far as, you know, with Brad Holmes, the guys that we got, cap space and all of that. But no, we should not take a quarterback. I'm not big on any of the other guys besides Stroud and Bryce.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff is our guy right now, and he proves this year what I think he's going to be. I mean, hell, what can we do? He has 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. I mean, you just can't. There's not many quarterbacks producing almost 5,000 yards in those type of stats, you know. And you know, I just think it's time that we just get off the bandwagon of Lamar and all the other bullshit.
I agree, man.
We have a good team. We have a good team.
I agree. I think they're the class of the division, Kenny. Great call, man. Appreciate it. I think they're the class of the division. I think there is nobody even close to them this year. If they can't win the division this year, I honestly have no idea when the hell they're going to win it. There's no excuse. The Vikings aren't going to be as good. The Packers are in a rebuild. Chicago is in a rebuild. Oh, and Chicago has a defensive-minded coach with a young offensive quarterback. Way to go. Way to go, Chicago. Really put 1 and 2 together there. Having said that, I agree on the quarterback. I disagree on Dalton Kincaid only because I know he's a first-rounder. You know how I feel about first-round tight ends. I'm not going to do it. But I don't disagree that it wouldn't be nice to have him.
Right.
It's just not where my priority is.
I feel like that's a little bit of a luxury pick right now, and I don't think the Lions are...
If this was next year, and they had 2 first-round picks, and they hit on a defensive tackle, and they hit on another edge rusher, and they got a late wide receiver, whatever it was, and the offensive line, they got depth at it, you could convince me with that second pick going for a tight end.
And I do like some of the tight ends even past the first round.
But
so.
I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Kittle, Kelsey, I can go around the league. All these guys are second, third, fourth round picks.
Yep.
There's like no point in me doing this. Moving on. Let's go to Lance. Lance, you're on the morning show. What do you got for us, buddy?
Good morning, fellas. How you doing today?
Morning. Good.
All right, so I totally agree with you 100%. The Lions are going to pull away. This division is now garbage behind us, which is a good thing. But I do want to ask you guys. You guys always say you trust Steve Yzerman, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Remember a couple years ago, his first pick was Mo Sider at 6. Everybody said, "Oh, that's too high." How'd that turn out?
Yep.
So what I got for I said I think that Kancey at 6. Dallas is an easy target. Trade back from 18 to 26. Get Jalen Hyatt. Get Campbell at 48. Hooker at 55. So you still got the Hooker Hyatt combo coming in the pros. And in the third round, get Julius Brents. All Dan Campbell guys. I think it fills a lot of holes. A good bunch of exciting group of guys that can just tear heads off. You know.
Lance, first of all, one, thank you for coming prepared. I really appreciate it. Number two, Jalen Hyatt in the first round. Interesting. I love the Steve Yzerman comparison with Brad Holmes right now, because I think Brad Holmes has earned a ton of credit and a ton of street cred, if that's what you want to call it, with this entire fan base. I think people do trust him. I agree. I don't think you can go wrong on making the right decision. When you make the right decision, it doesn't matter if it's at pick 6 or 5 or 7 or 10. If it's the right pick, people won't talk about it and they'll be happy.
Another reason for Hyatt, too, is what if JMO does peter out on us? Let's say he turns out to be a bust. I doubt it, but let's just say that. Then when that trade with Dallas, when you're trading back, you get a second and a fourth for next year. That gives you 2 seconds, 2 thirds, 2 fourths for next year. You're prepared for anything. And Brad Holmes seems like that type of guy who's prepared for the future.
I would agree, and I think that Hawkinson trade he made mid-season was a big indicator on that. Having those extra second and third round picks is going to go a long way over the next 2 years. I loved what you recommended. Hyatt, I don't think he's a first-round wide receiver, only because I think Quentin Johnston would be second on the board, and I think he'll go early to mid-20s.
And then you still got Jordan Addison.
But I still love the idea, though. I love the concept.
Right.
I don't mind Hooker. I don't at all. I'm not going to sit here and disagree with him. I love what Lance did. Solid. Great call, man. Well done, Lance.
Cool. Thanks, guys. You have a great day.
Yeah, you too, man. I mean,
great. Look, we can disagree on the trade back, the trade up for player. Fine.
And Campbell at 48, will he be there?
One, he came prepared.
He did.
With exactly what he wanted. And if I told you, you walked away with a defensive tackle, a quarterback, a wide receiver, I'm forgetting the position now. Whatever. Not important. If you walked away with your core wants, I think most people would be very happy.
He said Kancey.
Yes.
Kancey and then Hyatt in the first round. We'll trade back with Dallas.
Hyatt in the first round is interesting because he's going to go very early in the second. To me, I would just trade up from 48 to 37, 38, 39 and use that Minnesota third-round pick next year to get up and get him. But, you know, if you want your player, again, I never hate this. I don't have to agree. But when you want to call in, you or anybody else, or Jeff wants to tell me, this is my guy, fine. Get your guy. There's no such thing as overvaluing the right player. Like he mentioned with Mo Sider. Everybody was like, who the hell is this kid? At 6? No way. Kid's worth a 18th overall pick? Maybe. They're taking him at 6?
Yeah, it was a great...
How's that looking?
That was a great call by Lance. Good
Great
stuff.
call, Lance. Well done. Well done. What time is it? 9:24. We got a few minutes before we have to go to break, so we can still take more calls. Let's go to Jason. Jason, you're on the morning show. What do you got for us, buddy?
Hey, how you doing?
Very good.
Yeah, I just wanted to say what's up, man. Huge fan. In West Virginia, y'all got a huge following down here, man. I just wanted to call in. Yes, sir. I just wanted to call in because with the quarterback situation, you know, I'm pretty much trusting Brad Holmes with that, right? Like,
yeah.
Of course, I could come with my own opinion, you know, but to me, the Hooker, you know, move later in the draft would be awesome. You know, I'm not really pressed about the quarterback position. To me, glaring needs D-line and linebacker, in my opinion. When you talk about Justin Fields and mobile quarterbacks, you got to have some athletic linebackers, and I don't think where we're at right now, our core is kind of, you know, solidified. When it comes to the question about the division, I think the division is ours, definitely. But I do think that with the way that Poles is handling Chicago, that they'll be in a good place. Not this year, but coming up, they've got some good players. They got some good guys. I don't see them just overspending for names, that sort of thing, like I thought they would. So when it comes to the Bears, probably in the future they'll probably be like the team in our division that we'll have to kind of battle with. But when it comes to the 6-18 in the first round, I would really be happy. I'm amongst my friends, I'm called crazy, because if it plays out with Carter going before we pick or whatever, I'm either picking the guy from Texas Tech, I forgot his name,
Tyree Wilson.
Tyree Wilson. Yep.
Yeah, I'm either getting Wilson, or in my opinion, I watched a lot of Brad Holmes interviews, and the other day I watched him talk about building a unit on the team until it just becomes like a strength of the team. And in my opinion, the tackle from Northwestern,
Peter,
that would kind of give us, like, extra beef. It's not a need, and of course, we could go different ways, Kancey and different things like that. But at 6, if Carter's there, I would strongly suggest, taking a look at Skoronski, because at the end of the day, he would give us, a young mind to learn from. Some of this offensive line that looks to be, for the future, going to be some of the best, guys in the league. So, that's the only thing I would like to see. I wouldn't want us to reach, or, a lot of the trade back scenarios, I get that, especially when you're talking draft capital for the future. But at the end of the day, we're at a different stage this year than we've been, the last 2 years. We're like on the cusp. So we need to, kind of have guys that could be groomed and, called upon with injuries, really quickly, trading back and stuff like that to get future picks. I'm with that. You can never have enough draft capital, but, I would like to see us kind of hold our ground. I'm not necessarily concerned about the future quarterback like everybody else is. I've watched Trent Dilfer win a Super Bowl, so, I'm not really tripping on that, but I do understand the fact that, injuries are real, and Sudfeld, good guy, but for the future, if Goff is going to demand a lot of money, we're going to kind of need some kind of plan B.
Well, I think the plan B with that would be Brad Holmes. Great call, Jason. I love the offensive line pitch you just gave. Well done, buddy.
Yeah, you nailed that.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Y'all. Y'all have a good one.
You too, man. You know what?
Okay, speaking of coming prepared, Jason came prepared. He laid it out for you. And honestly, I'm not even, if I'm keeping it 100, I'm not in love with the idea of an offensive lineman at 6. But the way he pitched it, he's right. Like if you're gonna keep adding to a strength, Skoronski come and play guard. You have Decker insurance if you want to move on in the future. I don't mind it.
How often do we do redrafts? Happens every year, right? All the hindsight people. How did this guy go at 18 and this guy at 6?
Right.
How did this guy go top 2 and this guy fell into the second round? Where did Tariq Woolen come from? Tariq Woolen would be a first-round pick. Wasn't he a 5th rounder, I believe, to Seattle?
Yes, he was.
This happens every year, okay? So let's stop worrying about reaching for players and making the right choice. That's important. Steve Eiserman didn't reach for Mo Sider because he was the right pick. The Jets reached for Zach Wilson because he was the wrong pick, not because he was a reach. Think about that. Very clear. Really think about that. If Zach Wilson was a top 10 quarterback in the NFL right now, was that a reach?
No.
It's only a reach when you make the wrong choice. Remember that. We'll take a break. When we get back, let's shift gears a little bit. We've done a lot of Lions. Let's move off them for a little bit. Obviously, I was very disgusted with the conversation we had yesterday about Dwayne Casey. I really want to avoid it, but I have a few questions. Opening day coming around the corner. Tigers probably going to lose 100 games. Not much to talk about there, but hey, I want to go around the NFL for a little bit. I want to go around the local sports teams to get some news updates, and then we'll come back to the Lions at 9:40. But before we go, I got to tell you about my good friends over at Planet Fitness. Sign up today. Go in store to one of their many locations. You can always sign up at planetfitness.com as well. Your fitness is essential. Get to the gym. Take care of yourself, guys. Sign up today, planetfitness.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
9:31 on a beautiful Thursday morning. We're live here at Woodward Sports, the Morning Woodward Show. You can always tune in after the fact, by the way, if you're missing the show live. Download the podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find the morning show. Leave us a 5-star review, well, because Jeff said so, right, Jeff?
Yeah, leave it. Why not?
You don't have a choice.
Support the boys.
So here's what we're going to do. Michael Brockers came out and said what the Lions have to do to win the North. We'll get to that in just a minute, but before we do, the Aaron Rodgers deal is expected to go through reportedly before the NFL draft. Thank God.
Of course it will.
It better. The Packers don't have to move him, but thankfully that's good news to hear.
But if they're gonna get draft capital, they're gonna have to do it before. That's why I don't get the whole leverage thing. Like Aaron and the Jets have more leverage than the Packers.
I agree. I would agree.
So they're just kind of playing games at this point. Doesn't make a ton of sense.
Did you guys see what the Giants owner
what
said about Brian Dable?
What'd he say?
It was like an okay joke. He was like, we kid him. I mean, right now he's Bono walking around New York City, but I've told him, in this business, it doesn't take long to go from Bono to Bozo.
Oh, my God. Well, he's not wrong.
I know he's not wrong. I just thought it was funny as hell.
And did you also see Lions and Giants are going to join practices this summer, too? So
yeah, I'm excited for that. I think that's really good, actually.
Dave, I'll never forget Dable's story about Dan Campbell in a job interview. That broke over a couple months ago, 2 months ago.
What was the story again?
It's at a job interview. Dan, when he was
couldn't sit down or something.
Yeah, he was walking around. He was getting hype. Man, just feeling it.
Oh God! All
Very
right.
passionate human being.
All right, moving off of the NFL. Opening day around the corner. You have the Wings. Is it?
Yeah.
Opening.
3:10.
No shit.
Let's go.
No shit. I don't care about baseball, so I just don't. It's a shitty team. Hopefully they do well.
But you like Scott Harris, at least now.
It's a project. It's a project.
At this point.
It's a project just like the Pistons. But the point was, you have the Tigers starting up. You have the Red Wings coming close to their season. I want to say they're 32-9. Is that the record? Last I checked. I could be wrong. 32-9. Yeah, could you guys double check that for me? I'm pretty sure they're 500 right now.
Yes.
Perfect. So you have the Wings that are 500. We like where they're going. Next year is going to be the year where we talk about playoffs. And then you have the Pistons who are a complete joke.
All right.
Right? They're probably going to pick first, hopefully overall. They're going to land a mega prospect in Victor Wembanyama. But at the end of the day, the Pistons still have a lot of work before they reach contender status. And the point is, how funny is it that we went from Hockey Town to the going to work Pistons to the early 2010s Detroit Tigers that made multiple World Series. You had the 06 Tigers as well. To now, two of them are in complete rebuilds. One of them is exiting, ideally, a rebuild in the Red Wings. And then there's the Lions, who are poised to win their first division title since '94. Where the fuck did time go? Isn't that funny? Who would have thought? And I'm don't get me wrong, I'm very happy about it.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, come on. I think we've all watched enough shit Lions football. It's about damn time, but
think about it. As much as, Lions fans, as much as they've had to endure over this long period of time, you can't deny that when the Lions are good, everybody loves it.
Yep.
Football is king. You can't deny it.
Lions fans. Oh, man. So it is opening day today, huh?
Yeah.
First game of the year? Wow. Too bad I won't be watching. Who watches baseball anymore anyways? Like, if you don't go to the ballpark. Do we actually sit down and spend 3 hours watching a baseball game? Like, I used to. I won't lie. I used to. But that's when they were good.
Well, now you can spend 2 hours watching the baseball games. They've shortened the time now with the pitch clock and everything.
Which I love. But still, are you... Tiger's got to give you a reason to tune in, is what you're saying. Because there's not much.
I hope so. I mean, look, I'm still going to go to the... If they allow me to go to the ballpark, but I'm still going to go to the ballpark.
Come on, the Alavila stuff is over.
It was necessary.
And you had to do what you had to do.
Look, man, I'm a martyr. I hope they let me back in, but we'll see. But, you know, go to the ballpark, have a beer, have a hot dog. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, nothing wrong with that.
Something to me, that's like the best part about baseball. Is like actually going to the games.
What's that challenge? You go to the ballpark and you have a hot dog every inning? Like
is that a challenge? That seems like a heart.
Talks about it.
Yeah,
he says he's going to do it.
Spenmo talks about. Booner talks
that's
about
a heart
it too.
attack. That's not a challenge.
Please, for the chat, woodwardsports.com, you guys can help me out
Call
too.
Spencer.
Call Spencer. It's like a hot dog and a beer an inning or something like that.
Oh yeah, you're right.
9 for 9.
Yep.
Is that what it's called? 9 for 9?
I believe so, but Spencer's gonna put a spin on it as well too. He needs more beer, not just one per inning.
You think Spence could? I think Spence could do that.
Well, we're about to find out if he wants to answer his fucking phone. He's got a show in an hour and a half. I don't know how the hell he's not awake. Wake the hell up, Spence. 9 for 9. Who the hell would want to eat 9 hot dogs in a day, let alone a week?
Don't lie. You could take 9 dogs.
No, I couldn't. No, I couldn't.
You could take 9 dogs. You sicko.
So it's 9 hot dogs and 9 beers. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Now we can talk about the amount you're intaking, but what about the price tag for all that at Comerica? I think you're running about.
I mean, you're $200 probably.
If you're taking 9 dogs and you mix some beers in there,
you're looking at $200, right?
Yeah, easily.
Roughly.
Yeah,
$150, $180.
You're looking at close to a car payment. So.
Oh my God.
But hey.
No, hard pass.
Yeah, hard pass for me. No chance.
So you're not swallowing 9 glizzies in 9 innings.
Hey,
I don't know. I think you're a sicko, man. I think you could.
Sick. You guys are sick. You guys are sick.
No bun. Adam doesn't even need the bun.
9 dogs and 9 beers. In 9 innings. That is brutal. Like, how do you even drive home?
You know the feeling you have when you're sucking on that hookah for 2 hours? Imagine that, but just worse. Like how you're dead, pretty much. I feel like 9 hot dogs.
Yeah, I would rather smoke a hookah for 4 hours than do that.
Yeah.
Horrible.
9 glizzies, no buns.
Horrible. All right, here's what we're going to do. We got to go to break. When we get back, Michael Brockers speaks on the Detroit Lions' chances to win the North, what they have to do on Good Morning Football. We'll get to that coming up next. But before we do, I got to tell you about my good friends over at Cousins Maine Lobster. Scan the QR code, go to cousinsmainelobster.com, find out where the food trucks are, and take care of yourself for lunch today. There's no better option. Lobster tacos, clam chowder soup, you get a side of tots. You'll thank me later. That's my go-to meal. Check them out, cousinsmainelobster.com. Let them know Woodward Sports sent you.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
You're about to be shell-shocked. The catch of the day is in. Big Boy Seafood Fest is officially back. Join us for some of your favorites like our popcorn shrimp and pike perch platters and our classic fish and chips. This year, we've reeled in some fresh catches like our shrimp Alfredo, shrimp stir-fry, and our fish sandwich. And especially, don't forget about our all-you-can-eat Friday night fish fry buffet. Every day is a fish fry at Big Boy.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this
This program has been, I'm not snoring anymore. I have a lot of energy. It's great. And oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit customhealthcenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. Talking about 9 dogs, 9 beers. You guys are disgusting. I can't even drink, I think, more than 3 beers at a ballpark, to be honest with you. That's like the most I want to drink. Let alone 9.
Yeah, that's
disgusting.
Yeah.
And I can only eat 1 dog.
There's only
9?
There's only certain. You have to be built different.
No, you have to be a sick fuck.
You got to be built.
Is what you have to be.
Like, that's for the heavyweights. They could tackle that.
That's why they're heavy. Moving on. Michael Brockers went on Good Morning Football. Talked about the Lions' chances to win the North. Alex, if you don't mind, actually, I'll send you. We can throw the video up in a few minutes. But, Jeff, your thoughts on Brockers telling the team to be humble, patient. Very interesting comments.
Well, I think it sounds cheesy. You know, it sounds cliche, right? Stay humble, but it's true, especially with the young teams, but mostly defensively. I mean, you had one of the younger defensive lines. You had a young secondary. Now, a lot more veterans were added. Obviously, Cam Sutton, Emmanuel Mosley, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. But regardless, I think Brockers is spot on. Staying humble. That's something that Dan will be preaching. You know that during the offseason. Listen, we got better, but the pressure's still on. We have expectations. But if you want anybody steering this ship of players or this type of culture, it's Dan Campbell to keep these guys in check. So, yes, he's correct to stay humble. But with this team, I don't think you worry too much about that because of the philosophy Brad Holmes has when he looks at players, the guys he's bringing in, football character, intangibles Brad talks about, right? They look at character, your mindset. Like Amon-Ra St. Brown is a perfect example of the type of people that they're looking for. Aiden Hutchinson, those guys to me don't look like players that aren't going to be humble. So Penei Sewell, another one. So I got no worry. I guess he is spot on, but it's not like I'm sitting here worried about this team getting too ahead of themselves. I don't think that, especially with Dan Campbell leading the way.
I don't think you can be ahead of yourselves when you haven't accomplished anything, right?
True, and Dan will remind them.
They're hungry. They are young, yes, but again, Dan Campbell said it. This team addressed their biggest hole, which was the secondary, and they did it in a fantastic way that nobody expected. They are already geared up and good enough now to go out and win this division comfortably. Wait till the NFL draft. I'm very excited for this football team, but I want to finish the show on a different note before we get to Mailbag, okay? I spend a lot of my time thinking about
what?
How things can go wrong. Right? For the Lions, is there an actual window for them to fail this year? And I don't mean that where everybody gets hurt. No, genius, dipshit, obviously. But I mean it. Like, is there a scenario where this team is relatively healthy all year and they don't win the division?
Yes.
Really?
There's always... It's always going to be possible.
See, no, I need a reason.
Well,
that's what I'm thinking.
Well, let's go back to last year. How many games did you watch where you felt like the Lions should have won or in control to win, but they didn't because of
there was a handful, especially
errors,
at the start of the season,
coaching decisions, or certain schematic failures like KJ Osborne breaking free in Minnesota. There's always going to be ways you can lose these games, even if you're in control. So I would say yes. Now, the likelihood, I think Dan has learned a lot from his past mistakes. This team has as well.
No,
but it's possible.
That's not what I'm asking, though.
No,
I want to know the reason
possible.
why.
That would be the reason.
So coaching.
Yes.
You think coaching can hold back this talented of a team?
Coaching can hold back
a division that's really weak.
Coaching can hold really a lot of things back. I mean, not just, we're talking about the Lions here, but yes, coaching can affect things, especially if your team's healthy. But I don't think it will.
I would be shocked.
Yeah, I would be too.
I would, honestly. Like, they are prohibitive favorites if they're relatively healthy. I think fans would be shocked at a 4-2 record in the division. You gotta avoid a bad start. That's the obvious. Special teams, clock management, game management overall. How are they going to be this year? I hope better. I do. But they are significantly better talent-wise than anybody else in the division right now.
What about this? Steven says Goff regressing is the biggest threat to this team's success and the biggest why they need to draft a quarterback.
I don't think so. I think if Goff, again, I'm not saying it's okay for Goff to regress, don't get me wrong. But if Goff throws 24 touchdowns and 11 interceptions, is that regressing? Like, what's our definition of regressing? Where he's like total shit? Well, obviously, yeah, okay, that makes sense to me. But do you really expect him to be completely shit behind one of the best offensive lines? With a wide receiving core of Amon-Ra, Marvin Jones, and Jameson Williams? And Josh Reynolds? I'm just asking. I'm trying to be very...
If I'm being frank, yes, he could. Even with all those tools, yes, he could.
How when I saw him put up top 10 numbers to start the year.
He can have good years, but you're saying there's no way he can come out.
No, I'm not saying there's no way. I'm asking how. Like, how am I supposed to, quantify him regressing? What does that look like? Is it more interceptions? Is it him throwing fourth quarter interceptions specifically?
Timely interceptions.
Losing games?
Yes.
Okay, I can get on board with that. I find it hard to believe that's going to happen given the context of this roster, the offensive coordinator he has.
And it's the same reason why Sean McVay rushed him out. Not saying he's still that quarterback. I think he's learned a lot, but it's similar why
Jared
they
Goff
rushed
is a quarterback
Jared out,
where he needs
Matt
everybody around him to be nice to him. Everything has to be not perfect, but very solid and constructed, and he will operate at a very high level. When things hit the fan, that's why there's only a handful of guys that we call elite in the NFL. There's a handful of them. If you got them, you're lucky. If you don't, you got to deal with it. Lions are in a position where they have to deal with it. I just don't see it happening. I really am trying to envision, how does this season go wrong? Is it Dan Campbell and coaching? Is it him coaching the way he did the first 7 games of the year compared to the last 10? Is that the difference? Go ahead, Jeff. Read it. What's up?
Kurt says, Jeff is such a Goff hater. The guy could win the Super Bowl, and he wouldn't give the guy any credit.
I don't think that's true.
Alex, put the camera on me. Kurt, that has got to be one of the stupidest things I have ever read. That's actually impressive. I mean, we've been doing this show for quite some time. That's got to be the stupidest comment I have ever read. Number one, I'm not a Goff hater. If you watch the show, I've given Goff credit plenty of times, but I'm realistic. The other part of that, if he wins a Super Bowl, are you kidding me? I will be the first person to tell you I was wrong if he wins a Super Bowl. So, no, that is not the case, but I'm glad you took that and ran with it. Goff hater, I guess, for being realistic, that I don't want to pay him $50 million. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think anybody does, though.
Yeah.
Again, it's always going to be he said, she said, but at the end of the day, Goff is currently the second best quarterback in the NFC. That's a fact.
Wait, second best quarterback? Oh, yes, in the NFC. I think he said NFC North for some reason. I'm like, no, he's the best.
No, yeah, he's the best
in the NFC.
North.
Yes, I agree.
He has a great situation around him. He's got a great offensive coordinator. Again, you want to sell me on it not working. It would take a clusterfuck of decisions for this not to work. It would. It would take total incompetency for this not to be your first division title in over 30 years.
Everything's set up for them to go take it.
Yeah.
No question.
All right, let's take a break. When we get back, mailbag time. Get your questions in the chat. Jeff and I will answer them all coming up next. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency.
Well, if you believe I'm a Goff hater, I got the place for you. It's the Sports Marketing Agency, because they spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Through new podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, head to thesportsma.com for more information.
I love Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Fulling Warehouse in Hamtramck is the home of the original football bowling game. 2 to play for $12, the unlimited open play, or you could pay $120 for a lane reservation for up to 10 people. $2 mystery beer machine, full bar. Check it all out, fullingwarehouse.com.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show, live, woodwardsports.com. Hear me out. Before we get to Mailbag, I want to say something, and I want it to be received correctly, all right? I don't want you guys to take it and run with it. I don't want you guys to sit here and complain. I just think this is the reality. If you can't win the division this year, let alone win 10 games at the fewest, I think you have a coaching problem. Is that fair to say? And I'm again, that's based on no injuries.
Well, then
relatively
yes.
The normal amount of injuries that happen with any NFL team. If you don't deliver this year, it's got to be a coaching problem.
Besides Goff.
Or if Goff throws 18 interceptions,
yeah,
right? So, like, again, there's
down.
Extreme factors. I can get with that.
But then, yes, it would be coaching.
But if you go out and go 7-10,
it's a
6-11,
you're talking miss the playoffs. Yeah, that's a failure.
I find that very hard to believe in the NFC North. Not even the North, just the NFC in general. And I don't think that's going to happen again. And I think Campbell's actually going to have a really good season. And I do think the Lions are going to win the division. But on that 5-10% chance they don't, I'm going to be fucking livid. Because I've never seen a better constructed roster in this town. Outside of maybe the roster that lost to New Orleans in the playoffs.
Oh, that's a good point. That'd be the other time.
Under, who was it? Jim Schwartz.
Yep, that was Jimmy. Jim Schwartz.
But let's go to Mailbag.
Jim Schwartz. Mailbag.
Next year is Decker's last year on his contract. Do you re-sign or draft a replacement? Asks Joey.
Personally, no, I wouldn't this draft, but if you can talk me into it. I think that, especially Lance earlier making I believe it was Lance, correct me if I'm wrong, but calling in and talking about Peter Skronsky, you could talk me into it, but I would say no. Maybe Steve Avila if you want to draft a guard, but yeah, I would probably wait. I like Taylor Decker a lot, but you're right, he's getting older, his contract's coming up, you're going to have to decide if you're going to pay him, so something the Lions are going to have to address, definitely. Jamcat says, when of you guys, would WSN ever do a golf outing? Actually, we did do a golf outing twice, I believe. So I'm sure in the future there will be another one, and those details will come out. Let's see. Christian says, Mailbag, are you guys thinking of doing a live, full, first-round only draft?
What is it?
He said, Christian said, are you guys thinking of doing a live, full, first-round only draft? Live on the show, entire first round.
Every team?
Yes. All 30.
Do you guys want to see that? Throw it up in a poll.
All right.
Throw it up in a poll.
Put yeses and nos.
If you guys want to see it.
Yeses and nos.
Drop a yes, drop a no. A full first-round mock. Jeff and I alternate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, back and forth.
I think that'd be interesting. Definitely. Swap Attack says, Mailbag, is it too early to draft Campbell at 18? Worried about our linebacker room. Adam, you could take that one. Campbell at 18.
Yeah, it's way too early.
Maybe if you trade back.
Look, Campbell's going to go at the end of the first round or early second round. you can find a way to make your way into the early second round, great. If not, there's nothing you can do. I would love to have the kid, not giving up much assets to get a linebacker. Again.
Jack says, Mailbag, would you guys provide Spencer an Uber home for his 9-for-9 challenge?
God.
Yeah,
I might send Spencer to... We're like, where the hell do you send Spencer?
Yeah, that.
'Cause if he's that wasted, you can have fun with him. Send him somewhere. Send him to the Allen Park, maybe.
Oh, no.
Custom
don't do
help.
that.
Send him to the Lions facility
Send him
drunk.
to, you say custom help?
Custom help.
He's going to need custom help after that.
Dante,
all right, if you guys want it, I'm getting a lot of yeses in the chat. All right, deal. Tomorrow's Friday, right?
Let's do it. Let's do it Friday. Why not?
Tomorrow, top of the hour, 9
Because on
o'clock.
Monday, we got our own mocks for the Lions, so we can do
All right.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
live stream it.
Full mock draft, first round. Jeff and I will do it at 9 o'clock. You guys got it.
We can do 1, 2. JB can do 3. We'll do 3 picks.
Ooh, JB, I don't mind.
So we'll just keep
I don't
rotating.
mind. As long as JB doesn't take Anthony Richardson at 6, I think we'll be cool. I might have
JB.
to,
That means
I might
JB
have
would
to
have
give
the
him the
Lions
first
pick.
overall pick.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, God. All right, thank you guys, by the way. It's been fun. Let's answer some more questions before we get out of here. Thoughts on Dorian Thompson-Robinson?
Don't give your...
The running back out of UCLA? Man,
Stop it.
If you're looking for a running back, look no further. Look no further. Adam, would you wear flannel tomorrow? God, no. Never. Top location for the new Lions facility? I have no idea. I saw the story. Good luck finding property and land for it. That is a lot of land. To not just buy it, but just to find in this area, because this is where most Lions players live. They live in Farmington, Royal Oak, Birmingham, da-da-da-da.
Right.
Okay, where are you going to find real estate? Let alone that amount. You have the money for it. That's not the problem. Find a gig. I would love to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Would love to see it.
It's fair.
Are you a fan of them moving, by the way? I don't hate it.
Yeah,
it's whatever.
I'm in the
it's
same
their
thing.
practice.
It is
facility.
what
I don't
it is.
give a shit.
If other organizations they're more closer in proximity, then I'm all for it.
Okay. Mailbag guys, would you possibly think about doing only calls on the first day of the draft? I know a lot of people would love that just to talk about the draft and ball.
Oh, you bet.
So, okay. So last year, what we did was we opened up the show for maybe the first half hour.
Yeah.
And then I want to say it was majority calls after that and getting people's opinions. So, to answer your question, Jesse, yes. The Friday morning after the draft on the 28th, it'll be the first 15, 20 minutes will be Jeff and I giving our thoughts. And the rest of the show likely will just be callers, getting your guys' opinions and thoughts. And then looking ahead to the next few rounds after that. That's exactly what's gonna happen. All right, what else do we got here, Jeff?
Mailbag, thoughts on J-Mo getting Coney on 6 Mile? We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, I'm not. I've never had a Coney dog, so
Yeah,
I can't say if it's good or bad. But
Tigers
that's
over
fine.
under 70 wins. Herb Nash asks. Over under 70
I want to
wins.
say exactly at 70. I think they'll go 70 and 92. I think that's a fair number.
Swamp Attack says, Mailbag, can Jeff and Adam switch seats tomorrow? No.
No.
This is
no, it's my seat, bitch.
This is my seat too. So we're sticking this. Even when Adam's out, I never move.
Hard pass.
I'm always in the seat.
All right. Let's see. Let's see what else we can get. Questions. Can Jeff and I already answered this. Mailbag next year. If the AFC West is 2-2, NFC South 3-1, Division 5-1, common opponents 2-1, how would you feel? Well, that's a 10-win season, 12-win season.
Yeah, we'll take that.
I'd feel great.
I'd feel great.
Who's the better running back out of UCLA, Jeff? Dorian Thompson-Robinson or Zach Charbonnet? I'd have to give Charbonnet the edge.
Yeah, because he's an actual running back. That's. I mean, what are we doing here?
Oh, God.
What about this one? 10 shots if the Lions take a quarterback with a 6th pick. 10 shots?
10 shots? I'll just take...
Jeez.
I mean, what kind of shots?
Yeah.
Literal shots? Or the alcohol version of shots? Because I'm not going to be happy.
Well, why does your mind...
Because that's where my mind goes if they take a quarterback at 6.
Hennessy.
Hate my life. I would hate my life.
Let's
How
do
many
it.
games does Swift play this year? I'll go 12. Probably 13, 14 maybe.
Yeah.
Between that range. We'll go 12 to 14 games. I think he's going to try to play as many as he can, even if he is injured, because it's his contract year. And he's trying to get money. and he's trying to prolong his NFL career.
Herb says, Jeff, if Stroud or Bryce at 6,
Oh,
are you
God.
taking one? Yes, I'm taking Bryce.
That would be the scenario where you, I think, take a chance, but let's all be real. It's going to be C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young going 1 and 2.
Yeah, if you have a scenario where it's Anthony Richardson and Will Levis 1 and 2,
I would just laugh.
I would too. Yeah.
Yeah, but how many teams would trade up ahead of the Lions
the
to try and get?
phones would be buzzing. Yeah, the phones would be. Arizona would get.
God, if I was the GM, or forget the GM, if I was the owner of the Texans or the Panthers, and that's what my teams did, I would lose my fucking shit. Mailbag, thoughts on Sakai Ika from Baylor? Jeff, that's your boy.
I mean, well, no, I did do a.
You did do a player breakdown on him, though.
I did. Yeah, I like it. It's again, if you're not taking Cancey or Carter, in my opinion, it's Cancey, Carter, and then there's a big drop off. Mozzie Smith, I like as well. Not a big fan of Ika, but I did do a breakdown on him. It's not bad. You know, he's a massive human being, but I'll prefer Cancey and Carter. Still will. If you're gonna take a D tackle, it'll be in the first round.
All right, we're a little ahead of our time, but I do want to address one more thing. I'm waiting for it to show up on my screen. God dang it! Why is it taking forever? Come on, this is frustrating.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to refresh my damn screen. What the hell is going on here?
It's like a boomer.
Look, we're
right
going
now.
over today. I don't give a shit. We are. Sorry. Like I need this. I don't know why.
Josh S. says, you got to ask the final word if they can do calls on draft day. Well, actually, if you guys didn't know, listen, the morning show, we kind of implemented the whole call thing, and we take the most pride in the calls.
Okay, wait. No. All right, here's the question.
Calls.
Here's the question. Jeff Iafrate, would you ask Adham if his boy Calijah Kancey did anything in the Peach Bowl versus a backup center and an average O-line in Michigan State? I'll help you out. He didn't do much. So you're referring to last year, I imagine, right?
Here we go.
So his sophomore year. So I'm just going to disregard his senior, or excuse me, his junior year, right? Where he put up 7.5 sacks, right? I'm just going to ignore that. In 11 games, really? And he did 7 the year prior? I think he's fine. He's a sophomore last year, junior this year. You guys can say what you want about Calijah Kancey. Dude checks off all the boxes. That's it for today's show. We're out of here. If you want to hold players to one game, be my guest. If we're going to draft players on one game, I'm going to go find Anthony Richardson's best game and draft him.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go find Jalen Carter's best game and draft him.
You could also say Aiden against Georgia was ineffective, but also Georgia has a good offensive line. So
no. Aiden Hutchinson was a fucking shit on against Georgia. Let's all be honest. Should have never drafted Aiden Hutchinson. That's what we do around here. We're out of here till tomorrow. We'll see you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Mock draft, 9 o'clock, full first round live on the show. Jeff and I and JB. It's going to be fun. That's it for today. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day. And YouTube wants to shut us down. I don't give a fuck. Let me make that very clear. So if you guys don't like what I say, suck my dick. I don't really care. Say whatever the hell I want to say. Love you guys. Have a good one.
Appreciate it, guys.